quote just to cover my talk within time. I have learned this from Vishal. Vishal speaks it very nicely. He says, "समय अधिक नहीं चाहिए, but उसी समय में अधिक चाहिए." हमें समय अधिक नहीं चाहिए. We don't need too much of time, but we need to do too much in that specific amount of time. That is the key. So if you want to do so many things, that take a block of time and do the maximum output of possible. So okay. So just to start with, so if you really want to become a good leader and retain your team and lead them, first point to remember, you cannot add value to anyone if you devalue them. And when last week when I told you what the feeling of devalue is, that internally if you don't value people, internally you don't value the skills, your body language, the way you talk to them, it reflects. They will understand that you treat them nicha, matlab you treat them less, below. And the moment you do that, then the thread actually never connects. So the first point to actually retain people or lead your organization and so that people don't leave you directly is to take responsibility for your relationship with them. It's your responsibility to take that relationship to the next level. It's not their responsibility. So if you're a leader, you need to make sure that if you're talking to them one-on-one, if you're making good connection with them, if you're solving their roadblocks in the challenging or the work which they do, if you're able to connect to that level where you can inspire them, you can touch their hot buttons, which will inspire them, bring them from bottom to top. And then every time when they talk to you, they would feel awesome. So the first responsibility that you need to take, if you are a leader, take the responsibility of the relationship with others. Okay. And the second point, which will be quite relevant for all of you, is when people leave me, because you cannot be perfect. People have left me as well in the past. People will still leave me. Maybe people will leave you as well in between. So when people leave me, do I do an exit interview? Kind of a corporate line, right? Do you do exit interview? But to be really honest, how many of you really say truthfully, if you have left the company, to your manager, ki this is the reason I left? Many people, they don't share out of a fear that if I say something wrong and tomorrow if I want to make some mutual connect, because you don't want to spoil relationship, right? You might hurt an ego to your manager कि अगर मैं बोल दूंगा गड़बड़ से कुछ गलती तो ये relationship खराब हो जाएगा मेरा. So you, out of fear, you don't share, and vice versa to the manager. And the manager also itself doesn't know कि whether he has built that foundation enough in the first place to get the right feedback from his particular team member who is leaving, whether he is leaving because of him genuinely. If yes, maybe you should ask his forgiveness and then move on, take a high road of it. If not, then at least you will be clear कि चलो at least मेरी वजह से तो लोग छोड़ के नहीं जा रहा है. It is his issues, or it is his preference. He want to grow and he want to go ahead. So second point, when people leave me, I do an exit interview. So that is the reason it is very essential to have a good relationship in the first place. The third point, I put a high value on those who work with me. And to support this is a very beautiful quote. It's wonderful when people believe in their leader, isn't it? It's super wonderful when people believe in the leader. Actually, it is more wonderful when the leader believes in people. So it's wonderful when people believes in the leader, but it's more wonderful when the leader believes in people. So when you put high value on your team, on a particular task, a particular project, a particular goal you want them to own or end-to-end own and deliver, then eventually when you help the person to execute and he gets success, your belief in your team increases, his belief in you increases, and eventually you create a growth atmosphere. Alright, and this has happened multiple times. To all of you who are there in the book club, you already see that the learnings which we learned from the Vijay and a lot of coaches and whatever thing we have learned, I try to make sure at least 10% can go to the people who I'm talking to, and maybe Karthik, Rohit, all of you can maybe do much better than how I did, and to take it to the level where the impact and the influence is super high and the learning becomes so fun that people want to learn every single week and every single day and implement in their life, and the feeling of growth is priceless. And that feeling, if I can pass on to you and you can pass on to others, I think we all have a wonderful future, and the generation which is coming up, it will be amazing. India will be a better place and society will be a better place to live around us. So the third point. The fourth one, I put credibility at top of my leadership list. I talked about this last time as well. Credibility is all about being honest and truthful to your team, even if it is sad or even if it is not that great. So what is credibility in our case? So multiple times. So we did start doing multiple book clubs in the start of the session. If you remember last 1 year and all, we tried to execute 3-4 book clubs at a time, but we realized there was some gap. So we came back to one, so that the quality does not reduce, but still we can maintain the quality and add more and more value, value to people's life. So credibility is that people, when they see and you acknowledge the fact that things may go well for a certain period of time, if it doesn't go, are you changing, and are you accepting that change and moving on and taking the people with you, is something I could see very clearly. And that same way happened with Vijay also while I was walking, and same way many companies, if the company is good, your manager, your leader will say to you honestly कि अच्छा ठीक है, revenue fallback हुआ, इसके लिए ये हुआ, you're trying to mitigate these things and we would need your support. Transparency will always help as long as the trust is developed. The fifth point, I recognize that when positive emotional health creates a secure environment for people. If myself, I am not positive, I'm not optimistic about my work, about my vision, people cannot feel that the same way. And then when the tough time comes, when I'm so panicked and don't know what to do, definitely people will leave you, because nobody wants to die. They want to save themselves first. So it is very important for you to be positively emotionally healthy, because if you're not emotionally healthy, your leadership influence will get affected. So if any one of you are finding yaar log meri baat kyun nahi sun rahe, why these people are behaving like this, why this is happening like this, just check your emotion first. Maybe you are vibrating something negative to people and people are going away from you. Just an emotion check. And when you are having that, I personally, what I do, I stay away from people. If I'm not emotionally positive, I don't want any negative to go to my friends, family. In fact, I don't even share any negatives to my family. The only negatives when I share is with my coach or a mentor, because the negative and the feedback what I get from them is particularly enough for me. But I hardly share any negative to people as long as it is not required. It is personal for my life. So that is where it is. You have to create a secure environment for people. The last point is, I will have a teachable spirit, nurture my passion for personal growth. So these five point and 6 point is quite interconnected. So until unless we have teachable spirit, if I can't learn with what Vinay shared today, I think Vinay shared a wonderful book. He mentioned in the book, maybe I'll just go through and see what's learning there. If I'm not teachable enough, if I'm not open enough to pick some points and use that points, help other people and share that knowledge to other my team, eventually leading to a common goal, then maybe the next level of growth is still, the lid is still capped. And I can't put my lid on my people. If I have some roadblock in my mind, I can't put that roadblock or lid to my team, because then their growth will get hampered. So my teachable spirit, my passion for personal growth is very, very essential for my team to grow to the next level. So just to summarize all these 6 points quickly, so that you can evaluate about yourself and see if you're leading a team and if you're working with multiple people, then you don't be a roadblock for their growth. Is first you take the responsibility for the relationship with them. And when people leave you for any certain cause you're working together, do an exit interview or talk privately and understand why they're leaving you or whatever things is happening. And put high value on people who work with you, and put credibility at the top. It is not easy. Trust me, credibility is something I also used to struggle what to say, what not to say. It is quite confusing. That is the reason having a coach or mentor might help you, but credibility has to be at the top. And fifth is, recognize your positive emotional health will always create secure environment. So you need to be in the journey of personal growth and be a teachable spirit.